If you're PCSing to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Beavercreek is probably already on your list. It's your default, right? And for good reason. But there's another suburb that a lot of buyers actually completely overlook because they make one drive through it and they completely rule it out. And that's a huge mistake, honestly. I'm talking about Kettering, Ohio, specifically South Kettering. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to break down actually Beavercreek versus Kettering, honestly, and what it actually means to you. Who each is for, what the price gap actually is, what the school differences actually are, and talk to you about how each one is different from a lifelong resident. My name is David Moyer, lifelong Dayton resident, 21 years selling real estate here in the area, so let's dive into it. So let's just start with Beavercreek, because if I had a nickel for every PCS family that asked me about it, I'd probably be retired by now, right? And honestly, if it's the right answer for a lot of people, that's fantastic. And it honestly is the right answer for a lot of people. And here's why. Beavercreek City Schools. They're excellent. There, I said it. So, according to the Ohio State report cards, they are top tier. And the commute to Wright-Patterson, you really can't beat it. It's only around 10 minutes from Beavercreek, almost anywhere in Beavercreek, maybe 15 depending on traffic. You go straight down I-35 to either Gate A or Gate B, and you can get just about anywhere in the greater Dayton area from there also in about 20 minutes. So Beavercreek really puts you anywhere you want to be in the greater Dayton area and Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. The homes in Beavercreek that you're going to find, a majority of them were built probably in the past 20 to 30 years. There are a few exceptions out there, but a majority in the past 20 to 30 years. Much larger lots than you're going to find anywhere else, especially if you go closer towards downtown Dayton. And there's going to be a lot of newer construction too. Because so many military families cycle through here, there's always a high demand for new homes and more homes, especially as Wright-Patterson Air Force Base continues to grow and grow and grow exponentially. So at $350,000 to around $450,000 in Beavercreek, you're in really good shape, and that's some really good inventory. You get around 4 bedrooms, 2,500 square feet and up, and you get a really good lot. Sometimes you get a finished basement as well. So that's a really solid buy in this area. A lot of people in Dayton, by the way, are looking for basements, especially finished basements. So that's a plus if you're moving to the area. By the way, if you buy a home that has an unfinished basement, finishing that basement while you live here or partially finishing it is a great way to add on some sweat equity to that house for the time that you're here, even if it's only a 4-year term. Like I said, we're talking about it right now, resale. So if you're PCSing here for 4 to 5 years, and then you're getting your orders to go somewhere else, Beavercreek right there is the easiest resale in the entire region because of the base. There's always another military family that is coming in right behind you. You know as well as I do, the biggest time for our PCS season is between May and September each and every single year, but of course that doesn't stop between those 2 times either. So you're not going to really struggle to sell your home when it is time to move because there's always another family that is PCSing here to the area, either active duty, retired, or civilian. Okay, now Kettering. And listen, most buyers rule out Kettering. I get it, because they drive through the northern part, they see something they don't love, and they just write off the entire city. Kettering is huge, and that's a big mistake. Kettering is split into quadrants. You have North Kettering, which is completely different than South Kettering. East Kettering is different from West Kettering. So South Kettering, that's what I'm focusing on. The part that borders Centerville, Ohio. It's a completely different market. It's tree-lined streets, ranches, split levels, Cape Cods, extremely quiet, well-maintained, and very 1960s, 1970s construction with really good bones and generous lots and tremendous resale value. At $260,000 in South Kettering, you're finding a 3-bedroom, sometimes 4-bedroom even, 1 or 2 car garage, maybe a basement, typically unfinished in those Cape Cods, by the way, situation. And that same $260,000 in Centerville, right next door, not so much. So you're getting squeezed on square footage, you're completely behind. And you're probably not finding something 100% move-in ready if you're buying that same home in Centerville just about 2 or 3 blocks away. So the price gap there, about $40,000 to $60,000 below comparable homes just a mile south in Centerville. That's real money. So if you're looking at a home in South Kettering compared to what you can buy in Centerville, that's your monthly payment being $200 or $300 lower than what you're going to buy in Centerville. So the type of home that you're going to buy in South Kettering compared to Centerville can actually save you $40,000 to $60,000 in certain circumstances. Okay, Kettering schools. So they're good, but let me be clear, they're not on top of their game. They're not top of the state rankings across the board like Springboro, which we haven't talked about in this video, or Oakwood, which we talked about in the video prior to this one, but they're not bad either, right? So they're solid. I encourage you to take a look into them on the Ohio State report card system that is updated on a regular basis. That's going to give you the most accurate information you can when it comes to school board recommendations and how they rank side by side to other school systems in the area. So I'll link that in the description so it's easy for you to find that. Definitely check that out on your own. So Beavercreek schools, comparably, they're higher ranked than the Kettering schools. So if schools are in your column in terms of non-negotiables, then that's something you actually want to take in consideration. Beavercreek wins, full stop, right there, all around when it comes to schools. So in terms of commutes, both these are great options. So you can get around most of Dayton about the same amount of time anywhere. Fun fact, I always tell my relocation clients this and my PCS military people when they come to the area, you can get anywhere in the greater Dayton area within 20 to 30 minutes. And I mean anywhere, regardless of where you live. So like I said, 20 to 30 minutes from anywhere else you go, no matter where you live, you can get somewhere else in Dayton. So that's one of the great things people don't realize about our area is that it's very easy to get around. It's kind of a commuter's paradise, so to speak. Maybe that's just me speaking as a lifelong resident here. So commuter-wise, it's a wash, whether you're looking at Beavercreek or Kettering. But if you're specifically commuting to the base and the base alone, then Beavercreek is probably going to outweigh Kettering a little bit because you don't have to fight some of the more inner city traffic to get to Gate A or Gate B. So who are these areas for? If you're PCSing to Wright-Pat and you have kids and you want the path of least resistance for your family and your kids, Beavercreek. I mean, that's just the most solid answer right there. Great schools, easy commute, strong resale. You really can't beat that. So you're not going to go wrong whatsoever. That's the end of the story, full stop. But if the base commute matters a little bit less, and it actually does to a lot of my PCSers here, maybe you work from home part of the time. Maybe you work from home all the time. Maybe you're not actually military, but you're watching this video because you're interested in comparing Kettering to Beavercreek. Or you want the absolute most house for your dollar, and you're willing to trade a few spots on the school rankings. Then South Kettering might be a good option for you and where you really should be looking. So that's a $40,000 to $60,000 savings over Centerville, or what we just talked about, even Beavercreek. And that's some real dollars. That's taking your family on that extra vacation. That's getting that car for that senior that just graduated college, right? That's your down payment on your next property, maybe even your investment property. So if I had buyers who started looking at Centerville at $300,000, couldn't find anything that they liked, that was turnkey, and they ended up in South Kettering at $260,000 with a house that they loved and a payment they could actually breathe with, that would be great. So here's the final thing. Don't pick a suburb based on one single drive when you go through a certain development or an area like Kettering. Drive it on a Wednesday at noon, then drive it on Saturday at 6 p.m., then drive it again on Sunday. It changes. The area feels completely different and completely quiet midweek that it might be full of kids and block parties on the weekend. Trust me, these neighborhoods can be night and day depending on when you drive through them during the week. I see it all the time as a real estate agent when I'm showing properties during the week and on the weekends. So there's your honest breakdown. Beavercreek, military family, default. Excellent schools, easy commute, strong resale. Kettering, mostly misunderstood. It's a quadrant dependent, best price per square footage, and it plays into the inner ring suburbs. And if you know where to look, you know where to buy. That's what I'm here for. So the buyers who win in this area, those are the ones who don't just go onto Zillow and pick a house off of Zillow without doing a little bit of further research first. They're the ones who call somebody who actually knows these neighborhoods, knows the different developments, knows the difference between north, south, east, and west Kettering, and not just the stats off of Zillow. They know exactly what it feels like to live out there on a Tuesday night, what it means to go out on a Friday night, and what it means to drive through these suburbs on a Sunday afternoon. My name is David Moyer. I'm with Keller Williams Advisors Real Estate. Also David Moyer Real Estate here in Dayton, Ohio. 21 years in real estate, lifelong resident of Dayton, Ohio. I can't wait to welcome you to Dayton, Ohio if this is your first time here. And if you're a lifelong resident in Dayton, Ohio and exploring a different place to live, I can't wait to show you all of Dayton, Ohio that maybe you haven't explored on your own. So let's do it together. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or if I missed something, drop them in the comments below. You can find all my information as well in the bio. I would love to talk to you about your goals and your journey here through Dayton, and I look forward to talking to you again really soon.